Well, good evening, everybody. This is Bart from the Sound Couple, and I'm in my car, so that could mean one of two things. Either a church gig or a club gig. I think I just gave it away. It is a Saturday, and I am going for a rare appearance at the club. I did a video probably 6 months ago on a club that I used to work at quite a bit more than I do these days. Now I'm pretty much just as needed. I don't know if they had somebody else scheduled tonight and they couldn't make it, and they reached out to me and asked me if I could do it. We got the night off. I said, sure, why not? With it being 6 months, this is a Behringer X32 system, the full 32 channel at the front of house. There's a compact board for monitors. And so I'm actually leaving early, making sure I get in there and get settled in. I've actually worked with this band before because every band I work with in the club, I save on my X32 Edit app. We'll see you there, and I'll try to get as much footage that is useful and informative. All right, guys, we are here, and first thing you want to do if you're ever doing a house system is know how things work. And this is one of those clubs, if you've never worked in before, you might be a little lost. First thing you need to do is turn on the breakers. And then also underneath here, there's stage lights that we turn on and those warm up. And then all the consoles here are, for some reason, everybody likes to use the power switch, and that's okay. The amps are down there, we'll wait on those. The other thing, I think just because it's plugged in, the drum wedge here, it's plugged into power that's always on. We got to put those on. And then eventually I need to put this drape here down. We'll leave that for now as well. But once I turn on the power, all the monitors turned on. The one thing I am going to have to do, I know for sure, is set my AES to A. And there was snap, snap, crackle, pop. That way I am getting the preamps off the Midas console. I'm gonna head back up and get stuff set up front and test the lights too. That's the other thing I like to get out of the way, is just making sure the lights are working. First thing I'm gonna do is find my scene. Here they are. I'm gonna recall the monitor one first. I'm gonna load that one. I'm gonna go to setup, and then I'm gonna connect to the monitor board. I'm gonna go from PC to mixer. I'll connect first. So PC to mixer.
I can't see the TV there, Monica. No, this is a better shot.
I'm using Mix 1, Mix 3. It's a pretty straightforward band. This is looking good. So I'm going to recall this one.
I know, right? Right? None of us have. Yeah.
Close that out, and then I'm going to go to setup, connect, and then I'm going to PC the mixer, and that should load everything up on the board that I want. Now I'm just going to go ahead and test and see that I got my music playing, bring up my iTunes, and then I'm to setting up the stage, and I'm kind of assuming the band hasn't changed. So good. I'm playing my music back. That is, I've seen signal, so that's good. The last thing I needed to do is I needed to, like I mentioned, I split the head amp gain, and then I'm routing that from the Midas AES-A, AES-50A. And the other good news is I noticed that all of my, this looks very familiar, so if I go to my AES layers, I see my preamp set, which is good. So then if I go to, for example, my kick drum, I'll see my trim, 0, see if any of that changes. I don't know how, I don't remember mixing these guys the last time. All right, so it looks like I bumped the snare a little bit. It's at 1.5. Looks like the base I bumped a little bit. A little bit there. So I'm looking good. So next thing I'm going to do is just turn on the main amplifiers, make sure I got music coming out the front, which all indicators that I should. And then I'll head up on the stage and then just plug in a couple lines and make sure that the monitors are working. Okay, I'm back at the front of house. Looks like my scene loaded on up here. All 10 channels. Is that 10 channels up front? I thought it was kick, snare, hat tom. I'll have to look, double check. I thought it was more than 10. But these are all just my pre-checks. I'm gonna turn the amps on. That's the mains, subs. And I'll go back up to front, double check my channel count, and then put some tunes on, and then I'll come back up here. I am in the process of checking everything, like I said, and I've ran into 2 issues already. So I was checking the monitors, they weren't working. I troubleshot that a little bit. I found out it was a bad XLR cable. I get it, that stuff happens, but the second thing, I was gonna come back up here and I wanted to connect my iPad to the network so I could bring up the X32 editor and have my front of house so I could see my preamp values up there. Somebody at some point, I've connected to this Wi-Fi for years and it's not connecting, and the password that's written down isn't working, so I got a text out to the lead guy to say, is the password changed or something? But to be frank with you guys, this is just the stuff that burns me out. I did this for years, where walking into, and this is not even that big a deal, but I'm tired of troubleshooting silliness. The sound couple, our system, it's a system we manage, and we really try hard to maintain it. So when we're at the gigs, we're not messing around with this silly stuff. I know chords are gonna go bad, but really, it just goes, this chord was right on the top. So did it just happen today and it just magically doesn't work for me? This should be easy, and now I'm effing around with cables and Wi-Fi. So I'm gonna continue grabbing a new cable, checking my monitors, and then wait to hear back about this password, so hopefully I can get my iPad connected to the network. I was able to guess the password, and I think actually it's the same password as before, but I don't think it's ever been updated on the documentation, so I will do that. I tested all my mixes. It's about an hour and a half before the band starts, and I'm kind of in this lull. I don't want to do too much. I could start getting some stands set up. I think I'll do that. It's only a 3-piece band, so if I need to make some adjustments, I can do that. But at least get some stands up, start doing some pre-wiring. Just again, I've kind of learned that sometimes you try to do too much, and then they'll come in and say, oh, we got a new drummer, or we added a person, and then that kind of messes up everything else. I know that some guys like to use more like a template input list, and that's cool, where you just allocate channels, a certain amount of channels for each instrument, and then you kind of just use that master template for any band. And I totally understand that. It makes sense. Then you're not like starting from scratch. From my perspective, I don't usually use that approach. I'm more comfortable using channel presets and then going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on, and keeping things tracked that way. Some guys will always go like blocks 18 through 24 are always my vocals. Blocks 10 through 13 are my keyboards. And then if I got one line, I use one line, and so on. I don't know. I just never really went that direction. I like to just keep a straight, accurate input list. So channel 10 could be a vocal one night, it could be a keyboard the next night. I'm gonna start pre-wiring at least, and then hopefully the band will show up here, start showing up so I can get things confirmed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best band that's happened to be in the bar already. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the best. We'll be here next weekend. It should be. It's a good joke. Ladies and gentlemen! Best thing we ever did is go in and run across. Yeah, buddy. I just swallow my pride, I choke on the rise, but the light they're all with me in the inside. Swallow my doubt, put it inside, I'll find nothing but faith in nothing. All from my table, body in the window, what you spend around to the window, the radio. Rock table, when I'm through with you. Come on, like the wind of baby, somebody knows something. See how time is not to stay. Time with the body's beautiful, all seen and logical. I wanna stay on the wall. You me, and now your eyes see through me. I guess I was wrong. So now it's fantasy real. My head when things are over. There's so much left
That one's over. I'm gonna break out my tester here. We got a bad channel on the floor tone. I checked this guy. We'll come back. It was bad, but I'll just show you that it was bad. The first cable that I grabbed out of the bin. How lovely is that? I'm gonna run up to there and see about the floor tone channel. All right, so I was not getting this guy here. And I don't know if it's the microphone. If it's the microphone, I guess I'm kind of screwed. But I'm just gonna pull the cable here and grab a mic. This, you know, if we would have had more time to troubleshoot this, we were running right to the end here. I'm doing this with one hand, guys, but as I'm jiggling this, I still don't know. I'm not sure if it's the mic. I'm gonna dump that. Sorry about this. All right. So now I'll do the same thing. I think it's a bad microphone. I'm watching the signal on the console and it's... What I could do is I could grab another 604 now. Yeah, I'm getting nothing now. So what I'll do is I'll grab another 604. Pull this one up here. And if that's the case, there aren't any more. And I'll mark it, and so that's a bad cable, a bad microphone. Sorry, this might be the cable. This might be the cable, because it's behaving really similar with this mic. So I think what I'm gonna do is just grab a different cable and bypass this, and actually what I could do is test it real quick too. I brought my tester. So instead of trying to run this over, I'm just gonna grab another cable to extend it over here and then test it. Well, I tested it and it was fine, so then I don't know if it's the snake then. That would be the, I don't know. I hate to come in like every now and again and then I come in here and start naming off a bunch of things that are wrong, but I'm just gonna chalk it off. I switched the mics out just to rule out the mic. I don't think it's the mic, but there's definitely something going on. Alright guys, I'm going to take a quick second to troubleshoot this. I got to plug into channel 11 on the stake. We'll go up to the stage box and see what we get for lights on this side. Up all green, so I'm done. I don't know why it's not working. I'm going to pull this, put it back in for good measure, and call it good. It was worth a shot. So this is the first cable I grabbed tonight. And it's bad. The red light's on. It might be a little bit hard to tell with the light on the camera. Hey everybody, here's the recap. I am home, and I am glad to be home. It's been a really long day today for both Stacy and I. I'm gonna go sleep good tonight. Doing the club work. What do I think about club work? Well, over the past 20, 25 years in this club in particular, I played in bands there. I have set up production there. I ran sound there for a long, long time. I know the room and everything, although it's changed a little bit over the years, but I don't really miss doing the club work. I guess I like what Stacy and I do. And part of it is I just feel like I'm in a lot more control of the situations, whether it's our gear, whether it's working with the bands. Although tonight I really did enjoy the band. Just a three-piece, they just sounded fat. 2 3-part harmonies. Guitar was full, bass sounded really, really good. The drummer was tasty, I mean, and didn't overplay and had some nice stuff going on. So the band, they did a great job. I think for me what it is just the older you get, the less resilient you kind of become. And at least I've recognized that. Years past of working in clubs, just the crap that I would have to figure out and get into, things not working, pounding on boards, speakers that were farting out anytime you put a little kick drum in them, all that, and amplifiers that would shut down. Man, I don't miss that. And the equipment we have today is just so much easier to mix on. It works so much better. But even tonight, even the few things that I had, I still can't explain it. So I'll try to recall the list. First of all, USB. I hooked my laptop up. I used the USB for music. That dropped a couple times. The first mic cable I grabbed to test just make sure my signals were working, that's bad. Okay, all right. The bass player wanted to use his own mic, and we support that. I tested with the house mic, and everything was fine. He plugs his in, and it's cutting in and out a little bit. Okay, is it his mic? Is it the cable? Again, I don't know because I'm not, it's not my stuff. Third thing, I saw channel 11 didn't work. I tried to troubleshoot it a little bit up there, and frankly, I don't know. We got a lot more gigs coming up. We really appreciate everybody who watches and takes the time to watch. We don't ask people to subscribe very often. We look at our statistics every now and again, and it's great that people are watching them. Please subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and maybe hit that like. We do appreciate it, and it does help the channel out if that kind of stuff is done. So thanks again, and we'll see you at the next gig.